New Legend Spheres. Strago. Water damage plus 9% and double sleep resist. It's good. It's good. And he gets Legend Materia. This is such a sad song. Does Strago have that bad Legend Materia? Because you know, if my memory serves me correctly, I don't think he does have bad Legend Materia. Oh, never mind. His dual cast is on his LMR. Maybe the song is fitting. 25% cast an ability group that restores HP of 30% of the target's maximum HP after taking damage from an enemy. So he can passively Medica? That is interesting. I don't think that's bad at all. 25%. You know, in battles, you take a lot of hits over the course of the fight. You can expect, I don't know, maybe 2 of these to go off over the course of a fight. That's just 2 free 30% medicas. That's say for a 4-star dived character, you're going to be looking at, 2,000 to 3,000 health. More like 2 to 2.5. Increases water damage dealt by 10%. It is kind of weird that it exists on a damage dealer. Yeah, 200 motes is not free. It's a hell of a cost, and Strago has an issue in that he doesn't have a USB. He doesn't get one on this banner. He has a BSB that used to be pretty cool back in the day, but with it being limited to 20,000 damage a turn, that means his Bursal Break is unfortunately kind of just turned into an N water, which just makes you use Chain Waterga, and that's it. Strago is not a good enough character to warrant Legend Diving, unfortunately. And that's it. Now we're on to the banners, which is worth talking about because we do have a bit of a special banner here. 3 6-stars, which is a bit of a step back from what we're looking at right now with the festival banners, and a week after this event is going to be the Onion Night event, which changes the banner format to 4 6-stars. But the 3 6-stars on this banner are very good. First up is Platinum Dagger. I don't believe that's a fire dagger. It is not. USB Burning Steel for Locke. 10 single target random, fire, non-elemental physical damage, Imperil Fire, and Self Flame Hunt. He turns into a fire version of Zidane, which I actually like a lot. When using fire elemental abilities, additionally cast Flame Hunt, 1 single target, just like Zidane. It's not a strong chase, but it's a medium chance to minor Imperil Fire, which I believe is a 30 or 35%. Oh boy, I haven't got the HTML view in a while. Thank you. .2 multiplier and a 35% chance to Imperil Fire, 10%. So minor Imperil Fire. That's not bad. I kind of like it. That really that heavily imperils a boss. And Locke does have Ruby Spark available to him for a really good 5-star fire ability. Unfortunately, there aren't any real good thrown weapons for Locke to use. The thrown weapon, or using a thrown weapon, would increase the damage he gets from using Ruby Spark. So you're just gonna have to deal with, you know, either you picked up miraculously Lan's BSB on that World of Final Fantasy event ages ago, or you're just you're either using a dagger or a sword to increase his fire damage, you know, whatever. But I still like the USB. I think it's pretty good. Let me see his Legend Dive, because I did compare him to Zidane, and one of the best things about Zidane and why Zidane does what he does so well is because he has a trance mode that makes all of his thief attacks instantaneous, which he uses dash and slash instead of Ruby Spark, and all those instantaneous attacks allows him to stack up that minor imperil real well. Oh, Alina's BSB is also a fire throne, though that's really nice too, and I actually like that burst. That was a sneaky decent banner. Phoenix mode is Locke's Trance, and he gets attack plus 35% and cast speed times 2, so it's not quite what Zidane does. Oh, the Super Soul Break was fire, okay. This is a really good trance. It's not Zidane's, but I will take attack plus 35% and cast speed times 2 any day. That's a great trance. It just Zidane is just a hell of a lot better at it. So I'm a fan of that. Next up, we have Terra's Apocalypse and Terra's Bloodsword. Both of these are fairly old items, but that doesn't make them bad. They're actually pretty broken. Terra's USB, Omen. Neither of these are fire relics, by the way. 10 single target, fire non-elemental, magic damage, and fire, and self-X mode, Magitech Warrior. Magitech Warrior it just gives her a bunch of stats and increases her cast speed by... No, it doesn't. Her trance gives her a bunch of stats. But it increases her cast speed by times 2. By 2 times. And that's really good. That allows her to do some special stuff, where a lot of other people get cast speed modifiers for, you know, deal fire damage, or use a certain school of abilities. X mode is magic 30, and I believe her trance is all stats 15%. Terra's is different. Terra just gives her a times 2 cast speed modifier, which is useful for her specifically because Terra has access to Wrath. So she can do anything she wants while her USB is active. You don't actually need to have offensive abilities on her at all, because you could, you know, potentially just keep on wrathing out her USB. But the true combination is with the second relic here in her OSB, Scorching Flames. 1 single target, overflow, fire magic damage. It's a 40.0 multiplier OSB, and what you will want to be doing is using the USB and then just wrathing out OSBs. And if you have Meltdown at a decent hone, then you can use Meltdown instead of Wrath. I encourage that because Meltdown does a lot of damage in her hands, and it makes up for the fact that you're losing damage from Wrath. One issue, if you can really even call it that Terra runs into with her USB and her OSB, is that she caps out with her OSB, and she only does 100,000 damage every couple turns. And honestly, that it is a drawback, and that's why a lot of people use, and I suggest using Meltdown over Wrath, is if you are unable to OSB every other turn, so every turn is 50,000 damage, it's just it's not that much damage because you're only doing 33,000 a turn. Terra could be doing so much more than that with Meltdown. And then you're generating a lot of soul break points by using Meltdown since it is a 6-star ability. And then you can throw some OSBs in there as well. So really, Terra is big on the Meltdown. If you don't have Meltdown, you can also use Chain Faraga. Chain Faraga will also exceed what Wrath is capable of. I just say Wrath because it's a baseline. So all you actually need is the soul breaks and a 4-star ability and you're set to go. But she does improve with Chain Faraga and then she improves further with Meltdown. Okay, so there's our top end, and that's really what the banner is all about. And it makes it a really good banner. I think I've talked to a few people that have come to me specifically about Banner 1. And Banner 1 of the festival that have Locke and Creel's chain on it. I really like Terra's USB and OSB. I think they're going to be good for a long time. I like Locke's USB. But if I'm being honest, I would view Locke's USB as just being a lesser version of his chain. So it really, in my mind, is a bit of a war between Terra and Creel and her chain. And at that point, I'm going to be honest, I think if you're only looking at the top end, I'm not going to compare the mid section. If you're only looking at the top end, I think I would actually suggest the first banner over this one. Unless, like, you're a huge fan of Terra or something. Because Creel is a remarkably good character, as well as Terra, and I don't think you're gonna be unhappy with having Creel's chain, because she's going to enable your fire teams to be disgusting for a very long time. And that's the nice thing about well, both of them really, is that they're not really beholden to attack or magic. They are pretty hybrid. Creel is a mage, but her chain is a quick cast chain, so it really is going to benefit both physical or magical fire teams. While Terra just with her trance mode and her X mode just buffs up her magic enough where that she doesn't really require outside help. It's really a war. It's a war between them. Yeah. I will take Creel. Amazingly. Both of their Legend Materia appear on their banner, and they're both very good Legend Materia. But it feels like splitting hairs, because this is a really good banner. This is a really good fire banner. It's so weird that we're gonna have two of these within a week of each other. I left out Vivi because he doesn't appear on either of these banners. Oh yeah, and something Dawn Symphony brings up in chat, and why I'm... another reason pushing me over the edge on the Creel Locke chain banner is because of these. Realm and Sabin Super Soul Breaks are on the bottom of this banner, and they're double chance to hit. I think you're just going to find a whole lot more value in the Burst Soul Break section of the chain banner, because it's so much more expansive, because you're not dealing with these taking up 4 slots between each other. Okay, so Burstle Break section. Locke's Burst, Locke's Sarong. I'm pretty sure that is a piece of fire armor. It is. Burstle Break, 8 single target, fire, non-elemental ranged. End fire. Short cast time, steel power. Nothing special going on there. It's just an end fire burst. Terra's BSB, also just an end fire burst. And Terra's Arm Guard is fire armor. Fire bracer. It is just an end fire burst. There's nothing special going on here. Well, it does have this. That's a self buff. Magic bargain. So it's got that going for it. So it's a little better than a typical burst. But this higher multiplier when weaker imperiled, still the multiplier doesn't touch Chain Faraga. And Celeste and Mog are the two standout Burstle Breaks, where Celeste has a special burst, like Ingus and Refia, where the attack and defense plus 30% that she provides to herself is free. It has Grand Cross, which is a pretty special status. And the commands themselves offer her a Dark Bargain and the only Holy Spellblade in the game other than her Burstle Break 1. It's a good burst. And does some things that aren't, like, a lot of things that aren't capable in abilities, so it actually survives the ability upgrade. I missed it, yeah. It's supposed to be High Runic. We're supposed to be changing this. Mog's Fairy Tale is a very good burst. Support utility bursts are things that are going to last. And Party Haste and Magic Mind plus 30% is a good thing by itself. And with Mog's really cool first command. It's a 0 cast time Kiraga and high regen. Mog can actually buff the party and become a primary healer with this. Some fights, some of the harder and higher damage fights, he may need help healing the team with this command, but there's a lot of fights where he won't. So that's a really awesome thing to get from your someone who's supposed to be a support. In outside Magicite dungeons, Mog brings a Dancer 5 kit to the party, which is extremely useful by itself. So I really like that burst. So this banner does have good bursts on it, but if I remember correctly, the first banner of the festival also has good bursts on it, with Refias and Papalimos being among them. 3 legend materia here. We have Locke's Arm Guard, 12 fire damage up. So 3 fire damage armors here. Start battle with Unfire. Oh yeah, this is also on the first banner of the festival. And that is a good LMR, especially for Locke, especially with his USB and especially with his chain. Terra's Asuro's Rod. 25% chance to dual cast fire damage abilities. Awesome, especially if you're running Chain Faraga or Meltdown Terra. Definitely good that is on this banner. Celeste's Cloak, 25%. Why did they put low chance here and 25% chance here? They're both the same legend materia. 25% chance to dual cast Spellblade abilities. Also, a Holy Light Armor. Really a good thing for Celeste. And Realm and Sabin Super Soul Breaks, which are things to fill holes if you're a newer player. But with supers being reduced to a 1% hit on a banner instead of the 2% that these are, it makes me... It sucks. It sucks that they're here. If this banner was in the new format, like if it just came a couple weeks later and one of those banners, which is probably not that good, came a couple weeks back, then I would have been able to endorse this better over the first banner of the festival, but I can't. I think another good thing that I can add about the first banner of the festival versus this one is that Terra's a very popular character. She had a burst. Her first burst is so bad for so long that Terra was a meme. She was a laughingstock. And then her USB came out and everything changed. But Terra's a very popular character, and she's going to occur in many festivals because of it. Festivals are dominated by popular characters. So if you're looking for Terra, and you want to add Terra to a team that has, let's say, Creel or Locke's chain, then you're going to have other opportunities to do it. I know that's a really bad, that's a bad piece of advice. Like, hypothetically waiting for something that may appear, which you will have a low percentage chance to get on a gacha banner. Yeah, it's probably not the best, best advice. But I suppose I'm specifically referencing the next festival. Where Terra's UOSB and her Flash Tech appear on the banner. Alright, her USB did not show up in the next JP Fest, which is important. Because her USB is what gives her one of those ×2 cast speed modifiers. But understand that since her Trance is also a ×2 cast speed modifier, that her USB is not really required for the different types of Terra you can run. And there is a Final Fantasy VI event coming later. It is much later. It's like 3-4 months away. Probably not much longer after the next festival. That has a second banner that is really quite awesome. That has Locke's chain, Terra's USB, Realm's USB, and Leo's USB. Leo's USB is a very good USB that comes out and is on par with the highest tier stuff in the Mog's BSB can't really be outdated. There are better things, but it's still very effective. So calling it outdated or obsolete are misnomers, and I think that's wrong. I would say if you want Terra, this is a good place to pick up something for her, as there are 4 things here, none of them are BSB 1. If that is not you, then there are better options. Yeah, probably. This is a good banner, and a lot of people are going to pull on it. But my 2 cents is, I think the festival banner is a better fire banner, and this banner is for Terra. And there are many fans of hers out there. Rightfully so. Moving on to the second banner. We have Sabin OSB, Strago OSB, or sorry, Sabin USB, Strago OSB, and Locke Chain. Sabin's USB is not a Fire Fist weapon, but it is a very good USB. In my opinion, among the 4 fire monks, Sabin, Zell, Refi, and ETA, this is the best of them, as far as USBs are. We have 10 single target, fire non-elemental physical, and fire, self-attack and resistance plus 30%, quick cast, and Phoenix Fist. Let's see what we're calling Phoenix Fist on here. Phoenix Attack Follow-Up. Phoenix Attack Follow-Up is a chase. Ooh, I really butchered that. Again. 2.1. Alright, this is important. It is a 6-hit chase. If you meet the attack threshold of 1014, which is actually very easy with Sabin. It looks like an intimidating statistic, but Sabin has a large base attack. He gives himself an attack buff with the USB itself. Gets a bunch of attack in his Legend Dive. And I'm pretty sure he has a Legend Materia gives him attack, but I don't think I'd suggest using it, so I'm not going to include it. And over those 6 hits, it has one of the higher multipliers for a physical chase with 2.1. It's just a fantastic chase, and I think that makes him the best fire monk because of it. Math's been done, but those target dummy models they have flaws, so I don't accept them as canon. But I agree with that one in particular. So Sabin's USB is really good. Strago OSB. The best part about this, I did mention when I was talking about Strago's Legend Dive, is that nothing that he has makes him Legend Diveable. But that doesn't mean that this isn't a good thing, because 16, that is small water damage up on light armor. So 150 defense and resistance plus water damage up armor is very, very good. And the OSB is fine. It's just an OSB. Next up we have Locke's chain. It's a chain, and it's really good. So we have 2 really powerful things on the top of the banner with Sabin's USB and Locke's chain. However, as good as Sabin's USB is, it doesn't have the value that Creel's chain does. So we've run into an issue here. If you're looking for another fire banner, I still would, at this point, suggest the first banner of the festival over this one. A couple primary reasons. Locke's Legend Materia Relic is not on this banner. It is on with his chain on the first banner of the festival. And again, we run into this issue where we have 2 Super Soul Breaks that take up double slots on the banner itself. Sabin's LMR is not good. Strago's LMR is good. And Strago does become a good character with these things. With his BSB. And his LMR and his OSB. But let's go over those. Strago's Cloak, BSB. This is another side reason to pull on this banner. Is that his cloak is also water damage up. So also light armor, but 5-star this time. But water armor is so rare that you'll take... I would consider 5-star armor a big win for water. Anyway, he does have a special little burst, which isn't as cool, or not... It's not cool anymore, it's just a plain old burst. But it has some special things going for it. First command is 4 single target water earth damage and random ally gains magic blink. And the second command is 2 single target water wind piercing magic damage. It is the only ability command in the entire game that does piercing magic damage that is not ninja. Ninja abilities have a reduced calculation that limits the amount of damage that they can output to make them sane. Strago's for some reason doesn't, so he's basically going to do 20,000 damage with these 2 hits. And that's not just with water damage. That's with wind. He can even do 20,000 damage with very little effort, hitting resistance. That's how powerful this piercing command is. But at the end of the day, it's still only 2 hits. So it struggles to keep up with other things. Like, 5-star abilities. Back when 5-star abilities were mostly 2 hits, this was awesome. No longer. Yeah, piercing means ignore resistance. Sabin's BSB is 7 to 10 single target fire, non-elemental physical, and number of hits scales with attack. So Sabin's BSB can get up to a pretty impressive number. Not quite Sid Final Fantasy VII or Ash level of their entry on their bursts, but it's still pretty high. I think it's a 7.0. Because it's 0.7 per hit, and if he gets all 10 hits, that's 7.0. The commands are nothing to write home about. Self-attack and defense plus 10% per use, max 8. Sounds good, takes forever to to accumulate, and it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Remember, monks have access to Fires Within, which does a whole lot of damage. I think like twice as much as this command does. So you'd rather be using that instead. And the Area of Effect command is an Area of Effect command. So the burst is... burst isn't anything special. It's just on fire. Realms BSB is pretty decent. It is one of the only two forms of healer BSB last stand in the game. And I believe out of the two, the other being Pinello, Realms is better. And can be useful. Mostly for multiplayer, I think. And yeah, for single player as well. It's a good burst. Just outshone by the multitude of good healer USBs, and in particular has some friendly competition with buffing healing BSBs, but it's a very good BSB on a very good character. So that's, in my opinion, the first real nice hit of this section. Umaro's BSB is funny. 7 Area of Effect, Ice, Non-Elemental, and Ice and Burst mode. Where we got? This is what he does. You cast that, and then you use his first command on somebody. It's like Ignis 0.5. Where he uses his burst and then just hands Instacast to somebody every single turn. It's not really that functionally great. You don't want to sacrifice an entire party slot just for this. So it's really not that good of a burst soul break. Just fun to have. Maybe just to carry along in a multiplayer sometime and make someone feel like they're on top of the world. Legend Materia Relics. We have Strago, Realm, and Sabin. Sabin's is not good. Strago's is 25% chance to dual cast water damage. Realm's Hat is a decent Legend Materia. I have it, and I have Realm's BSB, so I have used this. I've used it with her single target instant cast command, and I haven't really noticed this make much of a difference on any team. I would only use this because Realm's Legend Materia 2 is probably not worth diving for. Or Legend Materia 1 probably is. So I would use our Legend Materia 1 and our Legend Materia Relic. At least it does something. That's not really a ringing endorsement. At least it does something. Sabin's is bad. Increased attack per use of monk abilities up to a large amount. I think it's 3% attack every time you use a monk ability. And then some bad supers, which take up double slots on the banner. So this banner started out really good, I think. With Locke's Chain, Sabin's USB, Strago's Water Armor. But there isn't a whole lot going on the rest of the banner. Strago's LMR is good, but it's on Strago, and all he really has available to him is an N-Water BSB. So he can dual cast Chain Water Guns 25% of the time. It's and with water teams being as weak as they as hard to put together as they are, mage water teams. It's hard to find buffs for Strago, along with other people on his team, to be effective and do things. So with the good Legend Materia on this part of the banner belonging to the one person who's only kind of semi-effective, I can't really endorse this banner for anybody other than Sabin fans. Alright, I'm done. What does everyone think? Life Virus, I would say banner 1 of the festival.
Thanks for the preview. Sharp Charity.
Thank you very much, Jimbo. Sharp Charity. That's fair. They're different playstyles. And they're different characters. I don't think this banner is bad at all. I think it's really good. It's like comparing, if we say that the standard is the first banner of the festival at a 100%, I would put this banner at like a 95, 90 to 95. And you know, things that could swing it for particular people are the burst soul break section. Celeste burst soul break and Mog burst soul break. Those are still relevant bursts, so they may have more value to you than the stuff on the festival. Well, that doesn't surprise me because a lot of people pull for Terra's things. And why wouldn't they? Not only is she a popular character, but she has awesome things. But I think one of the reasons why you don't see other stuff other than Terra is because it's... Say, the thing that I'm directly comparing it to, I suppose, is Creel's Chain Soul Break here. Where was Creel's Chain Soul Break available to Japan? That was Superfest 2. What was it with? And did it look like it was a popular banner? Oh, shoot, I don't have Superfest 2 on here anymore. Because Hours overrode it. Super Creel. So it was with Kane and Snow's chains. Shantoto USB. It's a pretty decent banner. Even has their Legend Material relic on it. Oh, you did see a lot of Creel's chain? Well, that makes sense. Like, I was starting to think, like, why wouldn't people pull on this banner? This banner looks really good to me. The first lucky pull is tomorrow morning? Yes. I think that's a good call on Symphony. It's 23rd, 24th, and 25th. We get the 6-star draw at midnight on Christmas Eve. Yeah, take a look at that banner. I should have gone and... I'll open it. It's a good banner. It is fairly far into the future, though, so don't, like, hold yourself for it, but just understand that at least Terra's USB does come back. It's not dead. But Locke's Chain, Terra's USB, and Realm's USB, these are all, like, you know, S-tier relics. And then we look at Leo's, which is new. Self Night Damage 30% and Chase Night ability with Sword Arts, which is... It's a strong Earth and Holy Chase. So Leo is actually a dual elemental knight. And I'm pretty sure... Yeah, he's awesome. Kane's BSB is... It's funny, okay? So anyway, this is a really good banner. So if you are, like, aiming, you know Terra's USB didn't show up for Japan in the next festival, and you're like, well, this is my last chance to get it. It's not your last chance to get it. Yeah, him and Marsh would probably work together real well. And Warrior of Light. I am on the Warrior of Light chain. Train. Sorry, chains on the brain. I should freestyle.